But watch ours for sure. Did you have a good year? Speaking of that, well, according to a new Fox News poll, most Americans say that 2014 has been good for them and their family. 57% saying that it was positive. Leslie Marshall is a Fox News contributor and syndicated radio talk show host. Mercedes Schlapp is a former media spokeswoman for President George W. Bush. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you, Heather.
Good morning.
So I'm going to start with this, the obvious. And I want to know just from the two of you, do you think 2014 was a good year or a bad year? Mercedes?
Sure. Well, I think it's been a bit of a mixed bag. When you look at sort of the low points of 2014, we were dealing with an imperial president. I would call him the golf-playing emperor, Obama, who basically decided to take unilateral action on immigration, talk to the communist dictator Raul Castro to normalize relations with Cuba without dealing with Congress, and really taking these sort of dangerous and unprecedented steps that I think could cause caused major damage with the congressional Republicans. So, then you had the issue of, for example, on ISIS, where we are seeing these horrible stories that continue to come out of teaching 7-year-olds how to behead infidels, and really that expansion of what's happening in the Middle East. But there were the upsides. I mean, we're starting to see lower.
Before you get to the upsides, I want to let Leslie respond to that. We went from ISIS to the golf-playing emperor. Those were your words. Leslie, what do you think? Positive or negative in respect to those?
I'd have to say, well, I can't say anything's positive with regard to ISIS, and I'm a pessimist, so this is hard for me. When you guys said good and bad stuff, I started listing all of the bad, all right? But definitely we had, we did have a good year, and we will talk about the good, but in talking about the bad, we can't ignore, and not in political terms, but in realistic and human terms, what we have seen not just internationally, but here at home, which is a lot of unrest. We've seen beheadings by ISIS. We've seen an illness out of control, Ebola, even doctors there to care for the ill that have been attacked and lost their lives to this terrible virus. And we've also seen here at home the loss of 2 NYPD police officers, and we've seen Mr. Garner lose his life, Michael Brown in Ferguson, and the civil unrest that has come as a result of it, and the conflict and division between people and police in many parts of this country. And I would say those are all bad things, but I do think overall 2014 was a good year and a better year.
And some common ground for both of you in discussing that. And I find it interesting that both of you began with the negative there. So let's talk about what was positive. And Mercedes, we'll let you go.
Well, and the positive side, which I agree with Leslie, it took me a lot longer to come up with the positives of 2014. Maybe we're watching too much news. I mean, come on. But for the positives, I think we're starting to see the fact for us, for Republicans, was the gains in the midterm elections. That was a huge victory. We gained 9 seats in the Senate, 13 seats in the House. The fact that the American people want a change in Washington. They want Congress to work together with the president and really hold the president and Congress accountable for helping to help improve the economy. With that being said, being a minivan driving mom with taking my kids everywhere, the low gas prices are really nice when you're talking about $2 gas prices. This is a psychological indicator for people to go out and have, spend a little more money in the economy and help boost the economy as well.
And Leslie, what do you see as the positives?
Well, over 20 states voted to increase minimum wage. That'll make things better for a lot of working families, the majority of Americans, the working class. We see gay bans on marriage that have gone away in many states, which I think is a right step for a very progressive Western nation leading the rest of the world with freedom. And also we have to look at job growth, which is improved. And last but not least, as a mom of a 6- and 7-year-old, although my husband does not want to hear the song one more time, the movie Frozen made my kids and many kids happy this past year.
I think that's something a lot of moms can agree on. And we'll end it on that. That's a good positive note to end it on. Thanks, you guys. We appreciate it.